Welcome back. America is a land of very generous people. We take care of our own and support those in need. We've got a lot of programs to do that, like food stamps for families who can't find work and school for soldiers who protect the nation. They're programs in which the president says he believes strongly.
GI Bill, is that a nanny state? Smartest thing we ever did was make an investment in the American people when those guys came back from war. That's what created our middle class. That's not a nanny state. That's an investment in the future generation. We have not massively expanded the welfare state. That's just not true. Levers of support that we provide to folks who are willing to work hard are not that different than they were 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Oh, but there are differences. Our next guest says it's the priorities of those programs. Who gets the money? Retired U.S. Navy Commander John Wells joins us from New Orleans this morning. Commander, thanks a lot for coming on.
Tucker, as always, it's great to see you.
So half of what the president said is right. For welfare, for civilians, the U.S. government is very, very responsive. So I want to put up on the screen some numbers here. If you apply for food stamps, you get them in 30 days or less. If you apply for SNAP benefits, you get them in 7 days, 30 days for temporary cash assistance in some states, 45 days for energy assistance. But let's put this up, and this is the subject of this segment. Veterans benefits. Here are the number of pending claims, 675,891. Of those, almost 400,000 are 125 days old. This is, the bottom line is, if you go apply for food stamps, you get instant service. If you apply for veterans benefits, it takes forever. What does this tell us?
Well, I think it tells us that our governmental priorities are wrong. Part of the problem is internal to the VA. It is so bureaucratic. It's paperwork intensive. They will tell you, as they told me, there's a form for everything, and that's part of the problem. Recently, I talked with the VA, and I had a letter that I submitted to them on a case in last week of November, was finally processed and brought into the record last Wednesday. It's just unbelievable, the time that it takes to get things processed. This entire system seems to be pointing towards the methodology rather than the results.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you're an ailing veteran and you show up at a VA hospital, do you have to show ID? Do you have to go through paperwork? Because Democrats are saying that showing ID to use food stamps is somehow discriminatory and mean, but veterans have to jump through a ton of hoops to get their benefits, do they not?
Well, that's correct. And to go into, even to enter a VA hospital, you're going to have to show some sort of identification, either a VA ID card or a retired military ID card or active duty card just to get in. And once you get there, you may or may not be eligible for the benefits. It can take guys a year or more to be declared eligible for the benefits. In many cases, if it's turned down initially, the appellate process is another 2 to 3 years. And Tucker, no veteran should ever come off active duty and have any break in medical coverage, especially for somebody who has been injured either physically or psychologically on active duty. And that happens all the time.
Well, this is baffling to me. I know at least one pretty high-level person at the Veterans Administration is a veteran, patriotic American, a thoroughly decent person who wants to help veterans. I think there are probably a bunch of those at the VA. So why can't they defeat this bureaucracy?
Well, you said the key word is bureaucracy. And the problem is, even from the secretary on down, they have to fight the many, many rules that they've written. You have to fight the very many forms that are required. And it's just gotten to the point where the system has become so overburdened, it just cannot function. The answer is to go back and make more real-time benefits available, to ensure that there's no interruption in medical care. And you know, these guys should not be deprived of a way to make a living either, especially if they have some physical or psychological issues.
Yes.
They should receive a stipend.
That's unbelievable. A country that treats its veterans at least as well as its food stamp recipients would be a nice place to live. Commander, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Tucker.